A villain who is influential in creating the Justice League International, Maxwell Lord is a shrewd, powerful businessman who can rival Lex Luthor's schemes and Amanda Waller's exploitative relationship with metahumans. He was first introduced as a man with no superhuman abilities, but due to a certain invasion, he did manage to obtain telepathic powers and influence people through their subconscious minds. When his power grew, he was able to command Superman to attack Batman and Wonder Woman. Created by Keith Giffen, J.M. DeMatteis, and Kevin Maguire, Maxwell Lord is one of the most wicked and cunning yet most persevering business magnates in DC history. Let's get to know Maxwell Lord today in this video. Maxwell Lord IV, or Maxwell Lord, is the son of a business leader for Chemtech Consortium. When he was 16 years old, he saw his father dead after committing suicide due to shame and guilt after discovering that their company manufactures highly carcinogenic products. However, his mother believed that the suicide was staged by the powerful people who owned Chemtech. In one way or another, and due to the preceding moments in his life, Maxwell Lord built his hatred and envy towards people in power because of this incident, and eventually instigating his hatred for superpowered individuals. Some years after his father's death, he became a young executive and befriended the president of their company to fulfill his ambitions. On a mountain climbing and spelunking trip, he planned for an accident for the president, but the president fell on his own. He thought about leaving him behind but changed his mind to rescue him. On the way to the bottom, he discovered an information retrieval computer designed by Metron. Metron is the inventor of the boom tube used by the New Gods for intergalactic teleportation. This computer showed several visions to Maxwell and made him forget to rescue the president. Right after that, he became the next president of their company. With the help of the computer, Maxwell gained more power and built Maxwell Lord Enterprises. The computer also achieved a certain level of consciousness and decided to save Earth's population from themselves through world domination. It was later told in the Flash comic series that the name of this computer is Kilgore, an electromechanic organic intelligence that consumed its home planet. It was defeated by the Flash before being found by Maxwell Lord. With this power, Kilgore and Maxwell Lord carefully devised certain events that led to the creation of the Justice League International. They developed a bigger signaling device for the Justice League, started recruiting heroes, and funded a terrorist group to attack the United Nations to justify the need for a new Justice League. They implanted Booster Gold by employing the Royal Flash Gang and an android named Ace so Booster Gold can save the League. Another scheme is when Kilgore launched one of Metron's satellites to attack Earth, giving an opportunity for the Justice League International to save the world while the whole world was watching. At a certain point in time, Maxwell developed heroic qualities and affection to the League and treated the League as his friends. Struggling with his conscience, Maxwell eventually destroyed Kilgore when it attacked the League.
You forced Nox to plant those bombs in exchange for saving his daughter's life.
I would never bought her a child's life. Can't speak to Nox's motives.
During the Invasion crossover story arc in 1988, Maxwell Lord achieved his telepathic power when a gene bomb was exploded by the alien invaders. This gene bomb activated the latent metagene present in Maxwell. He obtained the ability to manipulate the minds of others, but with great difficulty. Maxwell's new telepathic talent was first put into test when the Queen Bee of Bialya hypnotized Ted Kord, the second Blue Beetle, into a knife-wielding maniac to kill Maxwell Lord. Maxwell kept distracting Blue Beetle's mind, but was eventually cornered until the Huntress saved him. Later, when Doomsday caused the death of Superman and Mongol destroyed Coast City, Maxwell's mother, a resident of Coast City, died along with 7 million fatalities. Together with Batman allowing the Joker to live and Jon Stewart's arrogance that made the planet blow up, these series of events fueled his hatred towards metahumans, believing their personal battles and decisions have disastrous consequences to normal people. This, in turn, started his more insidious conspiracies to disgrace and attack the superhumans. While visiting refuge to talk to Wonder Woman's League, Maxwell passed out. In the hospital, he was diagnosed with a tumor spreading through his brain. Kilgore reappeared, digitized Maxwell's consciousness, and transferred it into a cybernetic body. They left Maxwell's body to die. His cyborg self is then known as Lord Havoc. Unfortunately, this version was no longer continued by Gerard Jones as his run on Justice League America was cancelled to make way for Grant Morrison's relaunch of the JLA.
All you need is to want it.
Maxwell was then recruited to become the new Black King of Checkmate, a group of interrelated Black Ops organizations meant to fight any possible threats to America. While in Checkmate, he was able to use technologies from Cadmus Labs, Project M, and Progene Tech to obtain back his physical form. In the Infinite Crisis crossover, the renewed Maxwell Lord utilized all the secret information he gathered about all the metahumans when he was managing the Justice League International to create the OMAC Project, a research campaign and a new type of virus that would create cybernetic soldiers that would kill the superhumans. He then continued by sabotaging the efforts of the Justice League International to discredit them and kill Blue Beetle when he discovered Maxwell's plans. Also during this time, Alexander Luthor Jr., the godlike son of Lex Luthor from a different multiverse, posed as Lex Luthor, gave Brother Eye its sentience, and gave Maxwell Lord control over Brother Eye, a spy satellite system created by Batman to monitor all superhuman activities. Maxwell used Brother Eye to create an army of OMACs. OMACs stand for Observational Metahuman Activity Construct. These OMACs are actually humans infected with a nanovirus from Brainiac 13 that transformed them into cybernetic beings programmed to hunt down and assassinate all superhumans. Maxwell Lord later on used his powers to manipulate Superman into ferociously attacking Batman by making him see that Batman was Brainiac.
Alfred, I need the big gun now.
Right after that, Maxwell sent Superman to assault Wonder Woman after making him see that Wonder Woman is actually Doomsday, who has just murdered his wife Lois Lane. Maxwell rationalized that the ensuing destruction is a proof of his argument about the hazards of superhumans on Earth, emphasizing that the devastation that Wonder Woman and Superman fighting could cause if they fought in a crowded city, and contending that the idea of Superman being mind-controlled by another being are proof that superhumans cannot be trusted. While fighting Superman, Wonder Woman realized that even if she defeats Superman now, Maxwell Lord would still be able to control him mentally. Wonder Woman then created a distraction that lasted long enough for her to sprint back to Maxwell's location and demands to release Superman. Maxwell released Superman while being bound by the lasso of truth. However, Maxwell uttered that he will control him again. When Wonder Woman demanded to completely release Superman, Maxwell said, "Kill me." So, Wonder Woman twisted, then snapped his neck and killed Maxwell Lord. Brother Eye then broadcasted the footage of Wonder Woman killing Maxwell all over the world, damaging her reputation and her alliance with Batman and Superman. Maxwell re-emerged in 2007 in the first installments of the new Booster Gold series by Dan Jurgens and Jeff Johns. At the culmination of the 52 pickup story arc, Blue Beetles from the past, present, and future go back in time with Booster Gold to the events of Countdown to Infinite Crisis and prevented Maxwell from killing Blue Beetle. In the succeeding Blue and Gold story arc, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle realize that they have made a new timeline where Maxwell was never murdered by Wonder Woman, and Superman and the OMACs under Maxwell's mind control have turned the whole planet into a totalitarian nation. Blue Beetle then realized that he needs to go back in time and accept his death to fix the timeline.
Workers of the West, too long have you been deceived by the lies of America. This pitiful wall was created to prevent you from knowing the truth, that you live your lives enslaved to the capitalist elite.
In the Blackest Night series, Maxwell Lord has been identified as one of the corpses entombed underneath the Hall of Justice. Maxwell's corpse was reanimated to become a Black Lantern during this time. He lured Wonder Woman to Arlington National Cemetery with a track of massacred bodies. When Wonder Woman appeared, he released a trap using black rings to reawaken the bodies of dead soldiers. Wonder Woman utilized her lasso to Maxwell and the soldiers to turn them to dust. However, as she was about to go, the dust began to regroup. Sometime later, Maxwell restarted his attack on Wonder Woman, who had been deputized lately as a Star Sapphire. Wonder Woman trapped Maxwell's body in a violet crystal, then shattered it into pieces. He was later brought back to life with the power of a white light lantern. Maxwell then manipulated Guy Gardner to release him.
Yes, Diana.
In the Brightest Day series, Deadman had a vision that Maxwell was planning to kill Jaime Reyes, the third Blue Beetle. Maxwell Lord used a device to amplify his mind control influence to erase his existence from everyone's memory. Only Deadman, Captain Atom, Fire, Ice, and Booster Gold remained aware of him. Maxwell used his powers to oust Fire from Checkmate, turned Captain Atom into a fugitive, and isolated Ice from Guy Gardner. He made everyone think that Ted Kord committed suicide, which enraged Booster Gold. Captain Atom glimpsed the 24th century when an explosion drove him into the future. He saw a world degraded into a pre-industrial state by a metahuman war initiated by Maxwell. The team tried to thwart Maxwell from bringing about this dystopia. Maxwell Lord was visited by the entity and told him to stop Magog from pushing the world into a war. Maxwell then saw a vision of himself killing Magog, and a vision of a future where Magog's team confronted Parasite, who absorbed Captain Atom and caused an explosion that killed over 1 million people. This was actually his mission on why he was revived by the entity or White Lantern. Maxwell then enlisted Magog to kill Captain Atom and upgraded Magog's staff into emitting energy blasts. He also controlled the Metal Men at this time. When Captain Atom and Magog fought in the heart of Chicago, Maxwell mind-controlled Magog to kill himself but made it appear to the public that Captain Atom murdered him. The entity then said that Maxwell's life was returned fully after fulfilling his role. Magog's staff was exploding and then Captain Atom tried to absorb it but was not able to contain it. The explosion then transported Captain Atom to 112 years in the future where Maxwell, while long dead, has thrown humanity into an enormous metahuman war ruled by the OMACs.
What the hell is going on?
Maxwell Lord, you're under arrest.
On what charges? Aren't you going to read me my rights?
In the New 52 timeline, Maxwell is still managing Checkmate, Cadmus, and Brother Eye. Because of his actions with Brother Eye, a former employee became the new OMAC who sought vengeance against him. In the DC Rebirth, Maxwell was reintroduced as having a psychic persuasion and low-level mind-reading capabilities since his youth, which works better with vocal commands. Still managing Checkmate, Maxwell assembled a team to take down Amanda Waller consisting of the members of the first Suicide Squad such as Emerald Empress, Dr. Polaris, Lobo, Johnny Sorrow, and Rustam of Prime Earth. Amanda Waller sought the assistance of the Justice League and the current Suicide Squad, and the displaced pre-Flashpoint Superman showed proof of Maxwell's existence to the League. Maxwell still managed to achieve his goal of acquiring the Heart of Darkness by controlling Killer Frost. He used the Heart to infect and control the League and rule America. The Heart of Darkness eventually consumed him and transformed him into Eclipso. Killer Frost then created a prism to channel Superman's heat vision to drive out Eclipso. Amanda Waller then imprisoned Maxwell Lord in a cell specially designed to bleed him if he ever attempts to use his powers.
Not really. But I do have some information you might find interesting. Your sister.
Overall, Maxwell has always been portrayed as a very smart and powerful person, metahuman or not. He controlled many powerful organizations, including the Justice League International. Despite his many defeats, he has always come back even stronger, and any hero or villain should never try to cross him.